was brilliant, wasn't it, to hear that belted out at Wembley after Crystal Palace had beaten Manchester City at the weekend. Not for City fans, I understand that, but for Palace fans, being able to drink in the moment, it was wonderful. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling. McCoist with me today. We'll talk about that amazing win for Crystal Palace, of course, right throughout the course of the morning. But obviously, there were more than one controversial moment, none more so than the decision not to give the Palace keeper, Dean Henderson, a red card when he handled outside the box. Now, speaking on the weekend breakfast yesterday, talkSPORT's Tony Cascarino claimed that Henderson staying on the pitch was a good thing.
Because of my pure hatred for red cards, because I don't like them, I would always side on the, come on, there's a bigger picture here with football and just how it can be affected by one decision. I think there's the biggest argument for sin bins ever on red cards, because I just think if you want to punish someone for... Look, and this idea of obvious, I mean, who decides what obvious is?
Well, it's an opinion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an opinion.
But that's what they based it on.
Yeah, I felt... When I saw it happen, I just... He's going away from goal. Can he score? Even if, of course, he can score. He's a top striker that scored
so if you're saying
angles.
He can score. So it's a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. So should it not be a red card?
Well, that's my issue all along, is that if you really want to take the law to the 1000th degree, you can make an argument, of course it's a red card. But I don't want football to be there.
Yes. And
I just don't want that to happen in football.
Cass. It was obvious. It was a red card. No question whatsoever. You can't have laws, can you, Coisty, which don't operate in big finals.
No, but where I take his point, Jeff, Cass, the letter of the law, he's off the pitch. Simple. We can't argue about that. Of course it's a goal-scoring opportunity. Absolutely. He's one of the best strikers on the planet. And I said right away, the reason that VAR gave it, said the ball was going away from goal or something like that. It was only going away from the goal because Dean Henderson punched it away from goal, right? So, in that instance, it is a red card. But where I take Cass's point, Jeff, I think the law's an ass. I mean, I don't want to see people sent off for that. Because I don't think he deliberately was trying to prevent Haaland scoring by fouling or making a foul. I think he just tried to play the ball as it was coming into the box away from the striker. A, it was a mistake. B, it's not malicious. So it's a red card, but I have a problem with the law. And I would have had a problem where I see Cass's point as well. Now, like I've said, it's a red card and he has to go. But it spoils the game. It 100% spoils the game. Now, I'm not saying for a minute you can't apply the rules if it runs the risk of spoiling the game. That's a silly thing to say. But it would have spoiled the game. So, me personally, I was quite pleased that he stayed on the pitch. However, the wrong decision was made and it should have been a red card, I think. There's my take on it.
Yeah, and look, I get it spoils the game. And by the way, Dean Henderson had an absolutely wonderful game.
Didn't he just?
You know, with the England manager watching there, you have to think that he is heading up that pecking order significantly. But VAR had a shocker. To say that he was heading away from goal, too wide away from goal. Well, as you quite rightly say, Coisty, that was because Henderson battered the ball away.
Correct.
In that direction. I mean, for him and for Palace, I was delighted to see that he stayed on. But, you know, what's the point of having laws if you don't stick to the laws?
You've got to apply them. They're there for a reason. They have to be applied. A lot of us don't like the laws, but until they change them, they've got to be applied.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.